dear Polymer Clay enthusiasts. I'm Mihaela from Learn Polymer Clay and I'm back with more inspiration for your work with clay. In today's tutorial, we are going to make an easy Halloween cat cane that we are going to use to make such earrings. I have used soutache cord to embellish these earrings, but of course you can use polymer clay and make a beautiful clay frame. So, as always, I hope that you will like this inspiration and I hope that you will use it in your work with clay. So, let's jump into the tutorial. So, I started by conditioning the polymer clay. I have conditioned yellow polymer clay. I have mixed a little bit of Christmas red polymer clay with yellow polymer clay, and of course I have conditioned also my black polymer clay. Then I have chosen a cat silhouette that I have printed on my printer, and then I've used scissors to cut it out. You can download this silhouette from the link that you will find in the description of the video. Then I have prepared two rectangles of clay, a larger one for the orange clay and a smaller one for the yellow polymer clay. This is a variation of the Skinner blend technique. This is not how you would do a Skinner blend. And then I cut these rectangles in half, and I've put the triangles one on top of the other, and I want to have these triangles. The larger one is the orange one, one let's say one on one side and one on the other side, and I wanted to work with more of orange polymer clay because I wanted to have a background which is mostly orange, and I wanted to have just a little bit of yellow because I intend to make to use yellow polymer clay for the cat's eyes, and I would have an accentuation for these eyes with this yellow on the background. So then I've put the clay through the pasta machine, and I would have orange on one side, yellow on one side. I would fold it and put it through the pasta machine 12 times. I don't want to have a perfect gradient from one color to another like you would have for a Skinner blend, because I want to have like cartoon effect. I want to have like waves of colors. You would have orange and yellow, orange and yellow. And after putting the clay through the pasta machine 12 times, I would start to fold the clay from one side to the other side. And so, as you can see, I have orange on one side and I have yellow on the other side, which will allow me to add more yellow to the side where I have the yellow polymer clay, to make sure that I will have this yellow part in my background. And I decided to add a little bit more orange polymer clay to the orange side to make sure that I have enough clay to put it all around my Halloween cat. And then I flattened it a little bit with my roller and I cut it in half and put it aside. Then I took my black polymer clay that has been previously properly conditioned, and I've passed the clay through the largest setting of my pasta machine. I've used the largest setting for all these polymer clay colors, and then I've cut the rectangle piece in half, And I'm going to apply a third layer of clay. So I'm preparing a third layer of polymer clay. And I will put it on top of the other layers to work with an even um, um, with a piece of clay that will allow me to make a larger cane. So then you'll just have to press slightly the pattern, the cutout silhouette, into the clay and use your craft knife to cut all around the design. It's not easy to cut through the 3 layers of polymer clay. So do take the time when cutting like that. And I recommend you to cut in a perpendicular way to your working table, not sideways, because this will allow you to have the same pattern all around the cane, of course. You will see that cutting out the tail is the trickiest part, but I managed to do that as well. If not, you can roll some clay into a larger snake of polymer clay and use it to make a tail. Or I don't know, you just cut that shape from a piece of polymer clay with 3 layers. Of course, you want to have the same height for all the pieces. This is really important. Then I used my tools to smooth a little bit the edges and to shape the cat to make sure that I do have a cat-like shape. And I'm going to use the same silhouette to make some indentations into the clay to know where I should make small openings to put the eyes of the cat that I am going to make using yellow polymer clay and a little bit of black polymer clay. So I'm rolling a very thin snake of black polymer clay, and I am going to use yellow polymer clay to wrap this thin snake of black polymer clay. So as you can see, I've just wrapped this thin snake of polymer clay in yellow polymer clay. And then I'm going to use these pieces to make the eyes of the cat. I'm using my dotting tool to push these pieces inside inside the area where I've made the openings. And of course I am going to use small bits of black polymer clay to make the contour of the face of the cat. And now I am going to use the background colors that I have prepared. So I want to put the cat silhouette in the middle, and I'm pressing it into the orange and yellow piece of polymer clay. And now I have to fit the other piece as well and fit the cat in between. And of course I have to put the tail as well. So I cut an opening into the base, and then I've put the tail of the cat, and then did my best to put everything together again. And then you'll just have to um, put some clay on top of the cat as well, so that your cat will be surrounded with a beautiful orange background. You could put some orange clay below, beneath the cat as well, and you would really have a beautiful cat surrounded by an orange background. And then you will just have to use your hands and your roller to press the piece together and to start uh, to resize it, to make it smaller and smaller. And I'm using my roller, and I'm rolling the cane on all sides, and I'm using my hands as well to press the clay inwards, and you will end up with a smaller image and with a larger cane. So you'll have to check out all the time and see um, which and decide what size of the cat you would want to use for your jewelry pieces, and you could uh, keep some pieces in a larger size and then reduce the cane a little bit more and keep some pieces in a smaller size and smaller and smaller and smaller. So it's up to you and your desired result. And then you will just have to take the time and reduce the cane. I don't want it to be too small because I want it to have, I don't know, like I want it to be able to make a larger piece of clay. And then I cut two slices of polymer clay, and in order to make the earrings I flipped the clay on the other side to have like a mirror image, and you would like this effect of course for earrings especially. And then I have used my black scrap clay and my Lisa Pavelka blooming texture plate to texture um, uh, a layer of polymer clay that I have conditioned on medium setting of my pasta machine, and then I would flip this over, and the texture part is going to be the back of the rings. And then I apply these slices of cane on top of the black clay, and I've used my roller to gently roll the cane slice into the base. And I'm doing the same thing for both pieces because I intended to make a pair of earrings. And then I used a square cutter to cut like a diamond shape. And I did my best to have just a little bit of yellow on the sides, and this would enhance the eyes of the cat. I thought it would. Uh, then you should take the time and smooth off the edges and make sure that you like the look of your pieces. And then and of course you should check the texture on the back, because sometimes when pressing on the clay, the texture on the back might slightly disappear. So I've used the stamp to um, create beautiful texture on the back in the areas where my texture kind of disappeared. And then I've baked my pieces for 45 minutes in the preheated oven at the temperature recommended by the polymer clay manufacturer. And then I've used a sanding sponge, a fine sanding sponge, to um, polish a little bit the pieces. And I will use some cloths to buffer them a little bit. And I've applied a little bit of varnish, but if you use different grades of sanding paper and take the time to polish the beads, you could have a very nice um, effect on the beads without using varnish. And then I just finished the design by gluing soutache cord, black soutache cord on the sides. This is now how you would normally use soutache cord, but I don't know, this is an idea that I've seen on the internet, and I thought that it would look nice with these Halloween earrings. I didn't want to make a traditional soutache. I didn't want to use beads. I wanted to have this um, I don't know, a rather strict, severe look for these pieces for the Halloween theme. Of course, if you don't have soutache cord, you can use um, polymer clay, cut out strips of polymer clay and decorate all around the design. And you will I don't know, you can use um, a different attaching system to turn these pieces into earrings. But I like this idea of gluing soutache cords with super glue all around the bead. And if you go for this idea, I recommend using gloves and protect your hands, because even though I did my best not to have glue on my fingers, it was difficult, and not to have glue on my fingers, and this is not the healthiest thing. And also you should be very careful not to put super glue in other areas on your bead. I hope that you liked the tutorial, and I hope that you see possibilities for using this technique in your work. It doesn't have to be a cat silhouette. You can find other interesting silhouettes and patterns that you can use with this technique, of course. So if you want more inspiration for your work with clay, please press the subscribe button and the notification bell, and stay tuned for more inspiration for your work with clay. Thank you.